Welcome to Did Grand Theft Auto Cost This?
What do you mean?
Well, I was thinking about, like, we wouldn't have an open world driving Mario game without Grand Theft Auto.
Do you think so?
I think Miyamoto, no, not Miyamoto, someone on the team did play Grand Theft Auto for research for this game. They must have done it. It must have happened. By the way, Miyamoto did not work on this game.
No.
It's the first Mario Kart game where it's not credited, apparently. I saw a post about it on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, how could Nintendo do this? They fired Miyamoto. And it's like, Instagram is very funny because you always get the worst comments ever. People misconstruing everything.
It is an extension of Facebook.
They killed Miyamoto.
It is an extension of Facebook, so it does make sense that people would think that Miyamoto died.
Yeah. This would never happen in the Iwata
Miyamoto
I
is
saw.
making movies now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time for this bullshit. He doesn't have time for video games. Like baby video games. They're like, I'm making a Zelda.
Well, Mario Kart World. I almost said Mario Kart 8 World.
Mario Kart!
It's on Switch too, the new Nintendo console from Nintendo. Makers of other consoles like the Nintendo Switch.
Don't you mean the Nintendo Switch 2 family of consoles?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But isn't the Nintendo Switch 2 part of the Nintendo Switch family of consoles?
I don't know. But I know that this is the Mario Kart World game. That's what they call it.
The Mario Kart World game.
They always say the Splatoon game. Or like, they always say that. Haven't you noticed that? They say the Donkey Kong Bonanza game.
That's adorable. I love it. It's like your grandma talking or something.
It's like they
Have you been playing your Mario Kart World game lately?
Yeah, the Switch 2.
It came out.
It's exactly what everyone wanted. However...
To a fault, you know?
Yes, to a fault. Because, of course, what people didn't realize was that everything they wanted would mean a higher price point. And people weren't kind about that.
But also, I think maybe this is probably the least exciting Nintendo
but
launch.
that also comes with everything you wanted, which is more powerful Switch, no bullshit.
Yeah, it is very much no bullshit apart from the price.
Yeah. But you know, that's the thing. And then some people are like, it should have had OLED too. Yeah, then it would be even more expensive, dude. Like, it's just, I'm sorry.
Well, so we got one.
Regrettably.
Regrettably.
It's one of those things where it's like, I guess we can because you get it instead of the other Switch.
We were talking about this the other day. It's like, we don't have Netflix, we don't have Disney Plus, we don't have Spotify. This is how we can afford buying a Nintendo console like once every 10 years.
Yeah, you put away whatever a Netflix subscription is every month for 8 years. And then
There you go, you got a Switch 2.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And we were watching that Switch 2 Direct, by the way. We stopped doing Tempered Expectations, otherwise we might have talked about it, whatever. We were complaining too much on Tempered Expectations.
Yes,
we were watching that one, and we were kind of going like, I don't know.
I don't know about this.
I'm probably not getting one. I'm probably gonna wait until something else, and then they end on like Donkey Kong, big Donkey Kong game. We're going like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
So we got one.
Why. So Mario Kart World, of course, that we're gonna talk about today, is kind of like the cherry on top. You know, it's not.
It's a nice launch game. It is.
Yeah, it is. It is not what I would have bought the console for.
No.
Because I know that Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming out in a month.
This is why you bought it.
Yes, this is why I bought
Mario
it.
Kart World is just, well, since you're buying it now...
Might as well get Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you get Mario Kart? And I think, pleasantly surprised.
It is a very nice Mario Kart game.
And now we're gonna make like this is gonna be our spontaneous little review as always.
Yes.
It's based on around 30 hours of playtime
with this.
Us divided
between us.
Yes.
We've been playing multiplayer, we've been playing single player, we've been playing on our own profiles, so we've been kind of doing our own progress and everything. I mean, I think the Switch 2, to begin with, is a very nice upgrade on the Switch 1.
Yeah. How nice that it actually,
It's very functional.
It's It's a very functional upgrade. It's one of those things where you start the eShop and you just like, oh, it actually moves this time. Okay.
I feel like maybe it's the most adult feeling console upgrade for me ever, apart from maybe for me.
For you.
That I've ever gotten, apart from maybe like his PlayStation 5 or something from PlayStation 4. It's just kind of like, it just kind of runs a little bit better now. But yeah, it because we've been running on a Switch 1.
Yes.
I'm gonna be saying wrong forever
It's
now.
fine.
I don't like that it's Switch 2. It should be a new Nintendo Blongo.
Spitz.
Nintendo Spitz. No. So
We've had a Switch
we've had a
one.
2017 Switch.
Yes,
until
an
now.
original ass.
And it was
machine.
like disintegrating. It was just running on hopes and prayers.
It has a little hole in your like, I don't know how you did this, but it has a little hole in the like ventilation.
Because I played the Switch handle for so long that my fingers just kind of had to grab onto at least they
is such a
gravitated
you
into
thing.
positioning
Because that never happened
into
to
the
me.
fan slots.
Yeah.
So 3 years I poked out the fan grate.
I can see you like just poking a little on it. You like do this with your
No, I think
with
it's
your
just
fingers.
gravity towards my fingers.
So every time you start that machine now, it sounds like from the fan.
It was pretty funny when we had done the system transfer.
Yeah.
It was drifting so much that I couldn't turn it off for the last time. It was like trying to like self-preserve. It's like, no, don't turn me off, no.
Turn me off. Yeah.
But yeah, this feels like when you're an adult and you buy like a new box divider or something. You go like, how neat.
How nice. This
How
one works
nice.
better than the old
Yeah,
one.
but if it was like 12, this would be really boring because it would be like, what do you mean it's the same? It's exactly the same.
I guess when you get old, you get a bit boring. It's one of those
It's nice
things,
to
you
be
know.
old for this, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing mostly Mario Kart. I bought Ridge Racer
Yeah.
out of obligation.
You
because
haven't
it's
played it.
I did play it a little bit, but
Yeah.
although we didn't make the video, and I've been kind of Ridge Racered out, and then when you have another racing game, yeah, you know. But it's nice. You should buy Ridge Racer. You were playing Wind Waker recently, last week or so.
For the first
Revisiting
time
it.
since I was 15, I think, or something like
Yeah.
that. So it's like 20 years-ish. Not exactly, but almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it seems like you're having a pretty good time.
It's a great game.
I think the quick resume with just the save states and everything is having it on the console nice.
It's
I
nice.
mean, we've been emulating GameCube games for years now, but there's something about it just having it on a
It's
dedicated
not
game
the
console.
same when you just like you need to choose and you have so many games to choose from. I have a GameCube I could play it on. We both have the physical version of the fucking thing and we have it on
The little SD
the
card
little
modded
SD card
GameCube.
thing. Exactly. So I could play it like anytime I
could
want
probably-
to. Yeah, there are options, but it just felt like, you have free games to choose from. That's nice.
It's
You know,
nice.
you just have this curated little selection of free games and you're just like, you know what? I can play Wind Waker a little bit, and then I'm less like, no, you know what? This time I will get past fucking Dragon Roost, which every time I finish Dragon Roost, that's where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done.
Just stop for the day and never resume.
Yeah, never
It's a
resume it.
negative emotional aura.
Yeah, but I will say I've had a really great time.
The emulation seems to be running
it's
pretty much
perfectly fine.
flawlessly. You've been using the CRT filter.
Yes, because I'm a baby.
A baby.
But also, everyone's wrong about Wind Waker, by the way. All the babies who are like, oh, you need to get all the Triforce shards, and then like, come on, grow up. It's for that's baby behavior.
Well, that's for the Wind Waker review.
Yes, that's for the Wind Waker
I mean, you
review.
can't do that if
No,
you
we're
want.
not gonna do that. Anyway, Mario Kart World,
Mario Kart World.
the big flagship title.
We've been talking for years. We've been saying the next Nintendo console. Mark my words, it will launch with
a
a
Mario
Mario Kart game. It is on record. I'm not gonna find it. I have said it in the past that they will.
I mean,
launch
it is
the Mario
pretty
Kart
obvious,
game.
isn't it?
It was very obvious, but like it's vindicating that they did
Yeah,
it.
but it's like the last time it was the month after.
Yes. So why? As I see some people going like Mario Kart isn't even that big of a deal. dude.
What do you mean?
Look at the sales.
It's because it's not a GTA 6
Yeah.
or like something like that. It's like a little baby game.
Yeah,
It is a
like
baby
I saw
game.
people being like, "Why don't they release with a Mario game?" Because
And
it's
there were
like
some people saying like
Mario Kart
before.
outranks Mario at this point.
Yes, absolutely. This is the smartest choice you could make.
This
especially,
is Nintendo using the big guns, the biggest one from the get-go.
like even if you waited and released it next month or the month after that, like within this year, I think this still would be the biggest title of the year from Nintendo.
Undeniably.
And I also think that it will be like what people will pick up during the holiday.
Probably.
I think so. I think that will be the main game that people will pick up,
People
especially
will buy their
because
Switch for this.
it's in the bundle.
Yes.
As long as it's in the bundle, that's going to be a huge title. I think the fact that they just went with Mario Kart so fast, though, a lot of people are a bit they're a bit weirded out by it. They wanted a new Mario Kart, but it's not exactly. I think when you've been going with a Mario Kart for so long, Mario Kart 8 has been here
it's
for
unprecedented. It is a weird situation because used to be new console, new Mario Kart. The only exception was like the original Game Boy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think
and the Switch. No, the Switch actually had the Mario Kart home circuit.
So Mario Kart 8 has been the main Mario Kart in one form or another for over 10 years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have gotten to the point, where that's so familiar that we are seeing the thing that happens usually with pretty much every Mario Kart game. You play a Mario Kart game when you're like 8 years old, when you got the Switch or whatever, when you got the console, you play this game when you're like 10 years old. And then when the next or the one after that comes out, because it's enough time for you to become an adult.
Yeah.
Then suddenly this game is not like the other Mario
Yeah,
Kart.
I think everyone has the Mario Kart that it's not like it used to be. For me, that was Double Dash, and I think for you it was like Wii.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because you're one like half a year older than me, but
Yes, but the thing was that I played Double Dash, of course.
Yeah.
But then I played Mario Kart DS, and Mario Kart DS is that's kind of my jam. Specifically my jam, and I know I'm a bit older at that point. So when Wii comes out, and that's kind of like, oh, it's not like Mario Kart DS.
yeah, they changed.
I look at it a little bit, and I'm like, they took away the emblems, and they took away the mission mode.
Yeah.
And it kind of plays differently. I tried to play it and I'm like, this doesn't feel at all like Mario Kart DS. And then you're like, I didn't even get it.
Oh, you didn't even
No,
get
I didn't
it.
even get Mario Kart Wii because I was like, no way.
Yeah.
So when Mario
you were a Mario Kart Wii hater.
Yes, and I didn't play Mario Kart 7 pretty much at all.
I skipped out on that one
I
too.
almost played nothing of it. I bought it, but then I was like, oh, this is nothing like what I want.
Yeah.
And then Mario Kart 8 comes out, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this
I think everyone loves Mario Kart 8.
Mario
because
Kart 8
Mario
is
Kart
so
8
good.
in some ways has just redeemed itself multiple times over
Yes.
by just being like, if you didn't quite like it, they're just going like, we got some more characters and levels now.
Yes.
And then they're like, if you didn't quite like it, we got even more characters and levels.
Yeah.
now.
But I think a lot of people have
At this point, it's
Yes.
a completely different game than it was
Mario Kart,
on launch.
Yes, but Mario Kart World, I think a lot of people are having that experience that I had with Mario Kart Wii,
Yes.
where people are seeing it and it's not like Mario Kart 8 at all.
Yes.
And they are disappointed about that because it doesn't feel like it doesn't play like it. You can't transfer all of your skills from Mario Kart 8 over to Mario Kart World,
Yeah.
which makes it like, why would I play online and so on,
Yeah, so what I wanted to say about that is that this feels like a sort of generational thing, because we had a case of this, like a new Mario Kart every third year or something for like the 2010s up until Mario Kart 8, basically.
Yeah.
You kind of go from one to the other. We got used to the fact that
this is
new Mario
8.
Kart, it's gonna be different, it's gonna
8
be
years.
weird, and I kind of assume that people have gone back to old Mario Karts to feel that they are all different and weird, that this wouldn't be that much of an issue. But I guess Mario Kart 8 is such a huge game that most normal people, I guess, have no reason to go back and play any other Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of people's like whiplash moment of, it doesn't run the same. What?
Here's the thing about Mario Kart 8 also. I don't want to talk we kind of have to.
Yeah.
Because the precedence. What's a bit special about Mario Kart 8,
Yeah.
especially Deluxe, is that it's been refined to a mirror sheen, you know. And some people absolutely love the fact that this game in particular is really competitive compared to other Mario Kart games.
Is it?
Yes, it is much more competitive than the other ones. It has been tweaked and balanced in a way where they, for example, they added a horn so you can break the blue shells. They added the coins back so you can get a bit faster. So if you're really good, that will make you even better and so on. And it doesn't have the same frequency of weapons. When you're in first place, for example, you don't get the same kind of weapons, and there's not as many blue shells as previous games.
But isn't that what Mario Kart kind of always run?
No, that's not how they always ran. They've always been chaotic in
Yeah, but you usually just get
Mario
crap
Kart
when you're in
Wii.
first place.
Mario Kart Wii has like 3 blue shells during one race.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, whatever,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. For the people who are like, I am good at Mario Kart, which I will admit, at one point I was a good at Mario Kart person in Mario Kart 8.
Can you be good at Mario Kart?
Oh yes, totally.
I guess you
Especially Mario
can,
Kart 8.
of
Because
course.
you don't know, I know. I can tell you that this is
Yeah.
why some people approach Mario Kart World that I will say is a lot more chaotic, a lot more like old Mario Kart in a lot of ways when it comes to like items and how much stuff is going on at one point.
It just kind of feels like saying good at playing dice.
Yeah, no, but that's just the thing. There's also rubber banding in this one more than the previous one.
There's
and so
definitely
on.
rubber banding in this one.
And so what's basically happening here is a lot of people look at that and they're like, no, this is a step backwards.
Oh, this is like the
Yes.
brawl thing of tripping.
Yes, this is the brawl thing of tripping. So it makes sense to some extent. Like, I get it because I've been a good at Mario Kart person. But I think since we already have Mario Kart 8, Deluxe even,
Yeah.
and that game is so fine-tuned, it is still relevant.
Yeah.
I think it's fine, personally.
Yeah.
The Mario Kart World is a different experience.
Yes.
That's what I would
And
like to say.
with that, like, because the Switch and Switch 2 are like so connected to each other.
Yeah.
That
It's
it
very
is
easy to go from one to the
incredibly
other.
likely that any person buying a Switch 2, most people, the vast majority, already have or have already played Mario Kart 8. How do you sell them a new Mario Kart when they can just play the old one that they put like 500 levels of DLC in?
Even new tracks, Kiki.
Exactly, like you can't just go, oh, it's just more now.
Okay, look,
Like,
I was-
wait,
Yeah.
I'm not done. So how do you sell that to people when they just have it already on the system
Yeah.
that they bought? You gotta make something that's new and different. It's not just for the sake of being different. I think what's very important is that you signal to the 5-year-olds what's new and important about this one.
Yeah. Having played Mario Kart 8 so much,
Yeah.
both versions, I will say that if they just made a Mario Kart that is basically Mario Kart 8, like straight up the same game with new courses, I don't think I would have bought it.
No.
I don't think
in
I would
fact,
have
I
cared.
think people would be kind of miffed. They would be complaining about it being so similar, probably. It's going
Maybe.
because this is the thing, when you've been going on Mario Kart 8 for so many years, people would just be like, it's not this good. Because it's
Yeah,
different.
we already see that
So-
it's always going to be the same
Yes,
thing.
but I think
yeah.
that this would be dead in the waters, because it would be like, how can you even compete? You can't.
Yeah.
You
already
so
have
what
the
they
best
did,
one.
what did they do in Mario Kart World? Well, they added a world. People been talking since Bowser's Fury about the 3D open world Mario game, and I don't think many people were going on about it maybe being a 3D open world Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
But I've made perfect sense. As I said, it's like Grand Theft Auto, but you're in a go-kart. So you can play in a big open world, and every level and everything in this game is part of the big open world.
Yeah.
You can free roam, but you can also play races, and you can play Grand Prix, and there's the new Knockout Tour too. Where you go like in a
Battle Royale.
endurance race, it's
Yeah.
called. I call this Outrun. When Mario Kart became Outrun. I really like that Mario Kart is now kind of like Outrun.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're just kind of going, instead of going in little laps, you're now
You go
going
routes.
somewhere else. You're going to somewhere off in the distance, towards the horizon. I love that stuff. I love this game.
You've been playing it a lot.
I wasn't expecting to be this enamored with it, because I think I have pre-primed myself through transparency, unwittingly, to be in the perfect position to just be like,
To just vibe.
I love this.
Yeah.
So the Outrun video we made is gonna talk about the sort of open road romanticism of the racing game Outrun, and I think this recaptures that in a lot of ways, not just the open world, but also kind of like in the races of you kind of keep going.
Yeah.
And then Aquanaut's Holiday, I basically I radicalized myself on open world design, that I learned to enjoy a game where you float around and look at fish, and nothing else happens except me looking at fish. So we have a whole world of Mario stuff and little details and just environments and everything.
Lots to look at.
This is overstimulating to me in comparison. I don't really even need to do a bunch of missions and stuff. I just kind of like looking at stuff.
Hanging out.
And I felt this awoke something in the back of my mind, a little memory. My kid Mario Kart game, the one I played as a baby child, was Mario Kart 64. And one of the weird child activities I had with that game was not racing, but sometimes I just liked opening time trial and just kind of driving around and looking at the levels. Driving backwards, trying to like just look at it from weird angles, just seeing the 3D geometry of it. And I guess as a kid, that's just very exciting.
Looking at the billboards.
Yes, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, I'm kind of incentivized to do that in a Mario Kart game. Is driving around environments through all kinds of directions and angles and just looking at stuff. And I just felt like, shit, they must have seen kids doing this, so they made a whole mode for it.
I actually think that's probably partly where it came from. Probably watching like kids interacting with the previous Mario Karts in some sense. Because looking at this world, it has definitely been tested a lot. It has definitely been most likely, I think, approved by kids in particular.
Yes.
You were talking about Double Dash as well. An
Yes.
idea of how that game like takes the Super Mario Sunshine approach.
Of having levels in the distance. Yeah, this gives me strange Double Dash vibes in a way where Double Dash, in hindsight, feels like a bunch of levels
That
were
connected.
taken from a Mario Kart World context. Stuff like Daisy's Cruiser, the cruise ship level, can be seen from levels like Peach Beach or Yoshi's Island. And then you have the Mushroom City, which I remember as a kid, I kind of liked driving around that one too, and just kind of looking at the environment, because being in like in a big city environment in a Mario game was new, it was weird, it was kind of unprecedented. And I remember thinking, I wish there was like a Mario game where you could explore a city like this. And then we had Mario Odyssey and stuff, but then this
20 years later.
22 years later, they make Mario Kart World, and it's a big city, and the city level is my favorite in this game, because I think it kind of re-evokes something that like, I'm exploring that Mushroom City now. But in Mario Kart Double Dash, you can see the Mushroom City from Rainbow Road. You like look down and it's the city. There's also the Mushroom Bridge, which feels like it's a transition area from Mario Kart World. And it's kind of weird that they never really honed in on that much after that. I like the idea of it being sort of interconnected in a way.
Yeah.
Double Dash also has a bunch of weird shortcuts that don't really feel like shortcuts. It's like the Peach Beach pipe that just
spits you out into
nothing, and it's like, this is not useful at all.
No, but it's cool.
But this game kind of has a bunch of those, and people have been complaining about that too. Like, this shortcut isn't a shortcut, but no. this is one of those things I think maybe people are sometimes looking at the Mario Kart world a little bit like a very harsh lens. Because I think a lot of times in Mario Kart, maybe something isn't a shortcut, but it's a leave me the fuck alone cut.
Yeah, I would say though, I think it's very obvious that it's very well designed. A lot of time and effort has gone into making the entire place Mario Kart drivable.
Yes.
Like, not just drivable, but feeling like a Mario Kart level.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of times where you just drive around, or you get in a little mission that takes you around a place.
Yes.
And you feel like, yeah, heck yeah, they really thought about every angle. Every angle you come from, you will be able to race in some sense.
Yes. There's so many incidental almost racetracks between all the sections, and I think people are understating how well designed this
Oh yes,
overworld
absolutely.
is, because it is so
It's
usually you kind of expect to find these weird areas that don't really work, and they kind of exist in this game in like the far edges of like, oh, you fell down the ice cream place, and you come to a really strange, unsettling, like it's
Ice
empty just
hell.
area, ice cream hell. And it's like, yeah, just hop in a pipe and just forget about this place. But yeah, mostly you can just drive anywhere, and
it's not just that you can drive anywhere, it's that
you're incentivized to do it.
yeah, it's so, like I said, it's so dense, it's so packed with places to do tricks, to actually, like I said, Mario Kart drive, if that makes sense.
The ramps
like
and
there's
stuff.
there's so much stuff in there that makes it just fun to drive around.
In the free roam, you have some collectibles to get. I saw people complain that there wasn't like a story mode, which I feel is like you were expecting a story mode in a Mario Kart game. Excuse me.
Oh, it is what it is.
What's really interesting when you play the free roam mode is that you may find like a P-switch, which activates a little challenge. It's like the mission mode in Mario Kart DS.
It is very similar,
Yeah.
yes. I replayed a little bit of Mario Kart DS's mission mode, and it's awfully similar. You drive through rings, you pick up coins.
Yeah.
All of this stuff, you hit some enemies maybe, you
Yeah.
drive through some things, you get from one point to another and all
Yeah.
of that stuff. The thing that's missing is like bosses, but I don't think that's super
No.
important. I didn't like them.
Yeah.
It is very similar to that, and that I appreciate that, because I've always said you should bring back mission mode.
I think most people felt like mission mode was a very good addition, that it was weird that they removed it. I think
And
it
there's
was,
a heck ton of missions in this one.
well, I think the thing with mission mode was that it was always kind of like a single player handheld game thing.
Yeah.
Where then they make like Mario Kart Wii, and they really want you to play multiplayer on that one.
Online. Yeah. Also,
but-
it kind of probably takes away a little bit of dev
but-
time, I would imagine.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so in Mario Kart World, when you do the P-block missions, it's very interesting because they kind of take you down a little preordained track to do a challenge, and then you end up somewhere else. And usually, within eyesight, there's something else for you to get. And you
Yes.
can then do that thing, and then you can end up somewhere else. Like, you can just go on a long string of just one more, and then somewhere completely different. Which I think is very well designed.
That's also part of what I was gonna say. That it's actually, it's kind of, it funnels you in the
Yes.
right direction, because like you said, as soon as you are finished with a mission, you're not far away from another one.
Yeah, or a
so-
collectible or
yeah,
something. You might see one of those peach medallions or one of those question pads.
I don't think you're ever far away from something to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's just part of how nicely made this world is,
Yeah.
and how thoughtful everything is. It's a very, okay, to describe it in some sense, I think it's a very dynamic world to explore, drive through, to play in.
Yes.
It's a playground, really. I would definitely call it playground-esque.
It's very playful, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think this is one of those thoughts I've had for a long time. Of all the things to be programming in a racing game, the reverse must be the most pointless thing. And this is a game that kind of solves that problem. You are engaging with everything the game has to offer. So, for example, I think the open world kind of teaches you the complicated techniques of the game, because you have those little tricks stuff, and you have the grinding. They put Sonic Adventure grinding in this, which is very funny because it kind of works. And I think it's one of those where like it kind of doesn't go as fast to take like the phone lines, but if you're having trouble maneuvering a situation, you can just kind of take the easy route. I think it's great for kids. This game understands how kids play games, I think, very well, because they have all these little bits and pieces that make it easy. You have all these little challenges and everything that makes you use the mechanics. One thing I've started actually doing in races now is to use the gas and the brake to do a super quick turn.
All right.
Which I started doing in the open world because, like you just want a quicker turn around. Usually you don't do that in races. You never really want to try around doing it. But now I kind of got used to doing it. It's just like, oh, this is a very quick turn. I got to do a super quick turn. And then you're like, hey, I'm doing better.
Yeah.
So you're learning.
Yeah. I think it's a really good kids game because, it has a lot of these details. It has shaved off a lot of the fluff, or I should say, maybe not shaved off, but it has like uncomplicated it's streamlined some things. This was true in Mario Kart 8 as well, I guess. The smart steering is of course on by default because it's easier for an adult to turn it off than for a kid to turn it on.
Yeah, she'll not even know it's
exactly.
there. Whoever needs it won't know it's there.
Yes, exactly. So it's easier for someone to turn it off and then never care, and for a kid to dive through a bunch of menus.
Takes 1 second to turn it off once,
especially if you can't read. Then it's horrendous. What does smart steering mean? No idea. Will your parents be able to help you? Maybe not. I have no idea. That totally depends. But that's also when you look at the portraits. They're not these small boxes anymore.
No, they're big dancing characters.
Dancing portraits.
And it's no sub menu of picking Yoshi and you're gonna pick the sub color Yoshi.
All
it's
big pictures.
All the costumes and everything are their own little characters. And I saw a lot of people complain about this, but basically I think most of the strange quirks of this game can kind of be boiled down to why would they put smart steering on by default? Why would they have all the character costumes as separate characters? I think it's to streamline it and make it very, very straightforward. Pick the character and there you go.
And then pick a vehicle, there you go. No parts.
Yeah, no parts or anything. Make it very simple and straight to the point.
Straight in there. Yeah, if you ever have to ask yourself, why is this? Then instead of just asking it as if the developers were stupid, try to actually answer the question. Because, there is a lot of stuff. Why aren't there parts this time? Well, because, it's easier to pick one for people. Everyone is playing Mario Kart. I think this is actually a really good indication that this is a game for everyone.
Might not even be for kids. Might be for grandma.
Exactly. It is indeed for everyone. The big, beautiful portraits will, it might sound stupid, but the small little pictures might not be as direct as these big ones that, pop. And you're just oh, yeah.
Give it a little bit of character. See how they dance. And I like that. You do learn a little bit more about the characters, just how they idle animate on the characters. I
was gonna say though about the open world and all that stuff, that's really you talking about your past experience with Mario Kart games and so on. I think this is a great, maybe the best kids Mario Kart ever, because there is a thing. I talked about this with YouTube's Dark Fry. I talked to him a little bit about the fact how well made the open world is for kids, and how just the idea of roaming around is really fun when you're 5 years old.
Probably, yeah.
It doesn't matter really what you do in the world.
No stakes,
Exactly. And
very
and Dark Fry mentioned something that I was yes, that's exactly it. His experience with Woohoo Island as a kid, specifically, of course, about the flying missions, where you don't really do anything. It's not you have missions or anything. No. You go to a place and then you can interact with some information about the place. But otherwise, you just roam around.
Yeah, it's
You
just
fly around. I was just like, yes, this is exactly it. This is like our Mario 64's Castle Grounds. It's probably someone's
Yeah.
Spyro the Dragon. Just the idea of an open space. When you first experience a game where you're like, wow, this is a world. And I think Mario Kart World will for sure, in 10 years' time-ish, you will see videos from kids talking about Mario Kart World, how that is basically their Woohoo Island. They will talk about it.
Impeccable vibes
Yes,
of Mario Kart
and
World.
That's what it's going to be
And
called.
Peach Castle is a perfect example because in Mario Kart 64, you could go off the Royal Raceway and look at Peach Castle
Yes.
as it was in Mario Kart 64. That was a very cool moment for kid me. Like, first time I ever played that track, I remember vividly. I just stopped the race. It's like, I don't care about winning. I'm going to look at this. Just went off track and looked at this thing. And it's like, yep, there it is. This
Yeah.
game is just all those moments. This is a generational thing. Everyone has their
Moment.
their
yeah.
moment, their Peach Castle, you know. I don't really know why this is, but I would say, I'm just gonna say here a statement. Children have more profound experiences with spatiality, it seems.
yeah, sure,
in games.
absolutely.
There's something about the world is new and fresh and exciting, and you see a location in a game, and you just see it
You're
without
like,
even
It's real.
without even having explored it. You just want to explore it. You want
Yeah.
to see every nook and cranny of it, even if there's nothing interesting in there. You just want to have gone there, to go beyond the hill, you know.
Yeah. It's like it's a space that you can be in, that you want to be in. And I think Mario Kart World captures that same idea.
Yes,
And I
I
think
think it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Yeah.
And this is what's interesting about Nintendo. They are one and done with a lot of stuff. They do things once, and then they're like, we're not doing this again, to like a detrimental degree. Like analog triggers on controllers, hello.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we did that on GameCube, never doing it again. Nintendo 64 games were the only Nintendo games to truly use the analog stick for like weird experimental stuff. And then they went, never doing that again. It's like they only
touchscreen.
like something when it's new, and then they go like, now it's normalized, don't ever care about this again.
Maybe we'll see some freak shit with the mouse.
Yeah, maybe. But
I
then
hope
we will
so.
never do the mouse again. It's like how the 3DS was like, oh yeah, we kind of have two screens. I don't know why. We're never gonna do that again. They're doing the Mario Kart Open World now, and I'm like, they're never gonna do the Open World again.
Maybe. But that's so far in the future
Yeah,
too.
but so
like in
so
8
what
years.
what I'm kind of predicting, because they're never doing anything more than once. There's precedent for this in Mario Kart. They're never doing the double dash thing again. They're never doing the mission mode as it was again. This is like the closest get to like, it's kind of like the mission mode 20 years later. They don't do it again, and that's why people are gonna go. They're gonna be so enamored with this game because it's gonna represent like, this is what
Their
we
child-
lost.
yeah,
They don't make them like they used to. They're gonna say that about this game. I know it.
Give it
I
10
know
years.
it's gonna happen. And
Give
they're
it
gonna
10
be
years.
like, when are we getting a Mario Kart game with an open world again? Because it was so good. And then Miyamoto is gonna say, but you guys didn't like it when it was an open world game. You said it was just bad.
No, that
you
was
don't
all the
have lap
stupid
races.
adults.
It was just adults.
Anyway, I think that you're probably right. Give it 10 years, and the kids who grew up with this one are gonna complain about the next Mario Kart.
Yeah.
That is like, this is nothing like Mario Kart
Why is
World.
it AR? I don't want a little Mario driving around my... Wait, they already did that. I forgot about...
This new Mario Kart fucking sucks. This one doesn't even have conk door.
Where's the cow?
Where is the cow?
Want to talk about the characters in this game?
Oh yeah, totally.
I love the character selection. It's so
Here's one thing that we noticed. We looked through the entire roster of the
previous
of
Mario
the
Kart
of the
games.
franchise, because there's always this funny thing where people have their very specific
Yeah.
like wants. They will
You
be like,
removed Funky Kong, and it's like, yeah. Why was he even there to begin with?
it's one of those things where people will go, "Where is Scrunglow?"
Me and my grandma were using Scrunglow every day when I came back from school playing Mario Kart, and
No,
now
no,
the
no,
new
no,
game
it's-
is out,
wait.
and my grandma is screaming, "Where's Scrunglo?
No,
I
wait.
have to calm her down. What do I do?"
Shut up. It's not that Scrunglo was in Mario Kart. It's that Scrunglo was never in Mario Kart. People would just say like a name that you've never heard before, and you will be like, who?
And go Mario Wiki, it's like, oh, it's the guy from Color Splash with the bucket.
Where is Belugo? We looked through the entire roster, and like, yeah, it is kind of straightforwardly mostly just the main cast.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get an introduction of a new character. Like Bowser Jr. gets introduced,
Yeah.
but he was Bowser's son.
Yeah.
So he's already like main character status.
Yeah, Bowser Jr. was
elevated
very
instantly.
obviously introduced to not have to make
Yeah.
7 Koopa kids in sunshine.
Yeah, Rosalina as well, you know.
Oh, it's a new princess, you know?
Yeah, it's a new princess. Of course, she's gonna come back, and she does.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing. But like when we're talking about like the side characters,
Yeah, Mario Kart rosters are very on and off. It's like,
Yeah.
you're here now, now you're gonna be back again. It's like Koopa, Koopa.
Yeah,
The most normal ass guy in Mario Kart. It's
He
like,
was in
it's
the original.
Koopa. He was in the original. Not in Mario Kart 64. Then he's not
Then he's back.
in Mario Kart Super Circuit, but he's back in Mario Kart Double Dash. Wow. In the Mario Kart DS, nope. Now he's dead. He's
I
dry
think he's
bones.
in there.
He's dry bones
Oh,
in Mario
yes.
Kart DS, and then it's Mario Kart Wii. It's like, oh, he's back again. It's like so Koopa is on and off. If Koopa is on and off, then there's nothing sanctimonious here. It's like Mario is always
like
there.
Diddy Kong, for example, is one of those that everyone comes back to. Of course, where is Diddy Kong? But Diddy Kong is actually not in most of them.
It's like in 2. Oh, they added him in the Mario Kart 8. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's DLC. Like
after like 8 years.
yeah, like come on. Donkey Kong is the guy who is important here.
Yeah.
If Diddy Kong makes it in,
And not even Donkey Kong has been in all of them, because
Yeah.
he was Donkey Kong Jr. first.
I think Diddy Kong makes it in sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, of course. Double Dash introduces a lot of team ups.
Yes.
So you need to make a bunch of shit up. Luckily for them, they had already made another game that had a bunch of team ups.
Mario Tennis.
Yes.
So they were like,
So
remember
Waluigi-
Mario Land? Here's this princess. It's Daisy. And people went like,
Yeah.
I thought it was Peach. Like, no. If you read the manual, it's another prince. They're like,
It's
oh.
Daisy. She's from Sahasrara Land.
Yeah, and you're going
Whatever
like,
it's called.
remember
Birabuta
Yeah,
Kingdom.
remember Baby Mario? It's like, why is Baby Mario here? Remember Birdo? It's like, Super Mario Bros. 2 Birdo? Yeah. Remember Waluigi? Like, no?
But then
Yeah,
Waluigi
remember.
has basically become like standardized guy.
He's just there. Wario needs a guy. And it's like,
But he does.
Wario needs a guy.
I like that Waluigi has become like more straightforwardly there than like Diddy Kong.
These made up a guy.
This is what I'm talking about. So this roster is kind of traditional. It's the straightforward main cast. You get rid of a bunch of stuff that you don't want to be there right now, like
Yeah.
Diddy Kong. In the trash he goes.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Yeah, but they also added a bunch of freaks.
Yes, that's what I love about this game, because this is the Mario Kart game with the most freak
And
roster.
the reason, of course, they could do that is because they had already modeled them. It was
I
a
think
minimal task.
Some
to
people
actually
might not
get
have
them.
noticed this, but like all the weird characters, enemies and stuff, they're all in the overworld.
Yeah.
Like they're already modeled and running around. Like Nabbit is running around. The charging
cow.
shucks are like, oh, we're fucking around here. The snowmen are there. The cows. The
Yeah.
cows are there. The conch doors, and so it's almost kind of weird. Like, why can't you play as the big stonehead guys?
I think it's specifically because they couldn't make all of them.
Yeah.
You have the shoes, and then they probably had some contest. I would imagine they had to put names in a hat or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, there's a lot of fun ones. Like Nabbit is in here.
Yeah, it's my new favorite.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting. For some reason I never have like a solid Mario Kart pick. When I was like 6 playing Mario Kart 64 for the first time, for whatever reason I just gravitated towards Toad. Never before and never since have I gone like, Toad, that's my guy. But in Mario Kart 64, something in my mind went, that's my guy. But then I never really went back to go, oh, yeah, Toad. So I kind of been just getting a new main for every Mario Kart for whatever reason, usually because they kind of switch it up. they don't have Isabel anymore. Isabel Animal Crossing, so I can't play as her, which I used to do in 8.
Where is Isabel?
Hey, where's Isabel? But now they had Nabbit, and I'm going like, hey, I like rabbits, so I'm gonna play as Nabbit, and I really like playing Nabbit, and it's just like, that's great. But what I was noticing, of course, the cow thing. Everyone all immediately gravitated towards the cow because it's weird.
It's dumb.
It's very silly. But then you play online. And I saw something about, Mario Kart Online the first days, everyone's playing as the cow. This is kind of memeing it up. But you kind of see people pick very strange characters. But I think it's nice because it kind of goes to show that people go like, no, you know what? I am the snowman. I am the coin coffer. That is me, you know. That represents me. I wanna play as the crab.
I hadn't thought of the pun of coin coffer before, like a few days ago.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, it's because he coughs up coins. He's a coin coffer.
Oh yeah, I thought you didn't get that it was a purse.
No, he is a purse.
Because I didn't really connect that
but
until later that he's also a purse.
Yeah, look, he's a coffer.
I thought it was a frog first.
Yeah, no, he's a little purse guy. He's a coffer. Yeah. He's a coin coffer.
Yeah, but that's
and it's because he coughs up coins.
The reason I thought it was a frog is because in Mario 64, you know, the polygons, it looks like a frog.
Anyway, I think the roster is good because it's one of those things where I know for sure this game is gonna have DLC.
It's gonna have so much DLC.
I think this might have more than the last one. Don't take my words on that, you know, temper your expectations.
Yeah, it feels very DLC ready.
Yes.
More so
for sure.
than any other Mario Kart game.
I think you will see Diddy Kong soon enough.
Yes, I was thinking Mario Kart World comes out. Most of the main characters have lots of costumes. It's a bit disappointing that basically the free characters don't have them.
Donkey Kong doesn't
Donkey
have
Kong has
any.
one.
And that's very suspicious.
And Pauline has one. And that's like...
That's suspicious.
It feels like, okay, Donkey Kong is gonna get a bunch of costumes in an update. Maybe they add like more levels, more environments. You can kind of zoom out the world map and see that like the corners are weirdly empty. Yeah. You can kind of, sometimes if you go to the edge of the world, sometimes Lakita will just be like, nope, it's removed. It's like, it's, what, why?
Yeah, why can't you just go into the water?
Yeah, what do you mean?
That's the strangest thing.
It's very suspicious because I feel like there's something you could.
It's an island.
Maybe. Yeah, it's
you can
an
just
island.
fall into the water and go like, whoa!
Yeah, add another side island or something. It feels open for them doing this. Because also, Mario Kart 8, I don't think they expected it to be the success it was. That's probably why it took so long for them to do the extra DLC on the Switch.
And they were making other stuff.
Yeah, but like, they probably had to go, oh wait.
Yeah.
And they start developing that after the fact when they noticed the great success. I think this time they're so ready for it. They're so ready for it to be the best-selling Switch game, and that they're gonna just be doing stuff with it to keep people buying and playing it. That's what I think.
We'll see.
We don't know.
Temper your expectations.
Temper expectations, yeah.
Yeah, but...
As it is right now, though, I think this is a really good package. You want to talk about the price tag?
No.
I don't want to talk about the price tag.
I don't
I
care.
have one thing to say about the price tag.
Okay.
We didn't buy it for $80, probably because we don't pay in dollars here. But we bought the bundle. It gave us the digital copy, and that was priced more like a regular game.
The regular.
And I would harbor a guess that a lot of people did buy it like that. So
here in Sweden, of course, the console is so goddamn expensive. You have no idea. It is like $750. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
By the way, just to make sure, we didn't buy it here because fuck that. We imported it directly from Nintendo instead for
Europe,
like $200 cheaper.
Which is absolutely ludicrous.
It's ridiculous.
Free shipping.
Free shipping
And you're going like, okay.
Yeah, sure. You get it a few days later. How
less
many?
than a week.
Yeah, less than a week. Like 5 days,
like,
not even that.
And you're going like, oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
You can't buy it over here. It's
the most expensive place to buy a Switch in the world is here.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't buy a Switch in a Swedish store. A Switch 2 at least.
Yeah. But Grand Prix then. Oh,
Grand Prix. So in Mario Kart World, the Grand Prix have a new format. First race, you go do the regular 3-lap shebang. And then the next track, you go to another one. It's the open world stretch between them.
Yeah.
Which is itself, I need to underline, it is a track.
Yes.
This is a 3-lap track, like the long stretch ones in Mario Kart 8.
That everyone loved.
Like the ski
Like
slope
Wario,
one. Yeah.
Wario Mountain,
Yeah.
for example.
It is like that. It's just one long gauntlet. And from what's said about the open world being very well designed, the distance
The
between
fact that
all
you
the
can
all the
make
tracks,
this...
they're all like real tracks, I think. People talk about it just being like one straight line. No.
No, I don't think
No.
so. It varies, of course, but I
Yeah.
think it also adds a lot of variety.
Yeah,
because
the
of
further
how,
into the cups you get, the more complicated the routes become, of course.
Yeah, but
because
also
it
how
gets
many
harder.
like it has different cars every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get bombarded by bombs. Sometimes you get a truck in front of you that spouts out mushrooms.
So basically, you have the first one be a regular race, and then the next 3 ones are just those outrun levels,
You
basically.
travel. It's a traverse thing. You travel across a map to the next destination.
Yeah.
I think it's a very cool way to spice up the formula a little bit.
This
Yes,
is what makes
but
this
it's
Mario
also-
Kart game unique.
I think like you said, that it shows how well designed it is, because you can take these tracks in different directions too, in like
Yeah.
online and versus mode, for
Yeah.
example, and it works in all different kinds of
you can,
directions.
so many different configurations.
And I think that's really cool. That
Yeah.
like you can't just do that.
No.
You have to have thought something out.
I think one of the reasons I
work.
also like this a lot is because I always liked the Toad's Turnpike, the
Oh,
level
yeah,
with
yeah.
all the traffic. That is like the substitute of not having as many racers in Mario Kart, is you have a bunch of NPC cars basically to just deal with. And a lot of these traversal tracks are about weaving through traffic, because what roads you're gonna have? You're gonna have regular car roads with cars on the road. Sometimes
There's
you're
a lot of
off-roading,
fun.
sometimes you're going in water, sometimes you're like flying. And I think it's very neat. I understand people have been upset about it not being like regular. And my thought about this is simply that I like Mario Kart World really committing to the world moniker,
To the bit.
to the bit of being that, because I think it makes it more unique. I like that this feels new.
Yeah.
Because Mario Kart 8 was not just the one we had for 10 plus years. It was also Mario Kart, allegedly the 8th one. When Mario Kart 7 came out, people were like getting their calculators out, going like, wait. Oh yeah,
Which one are we
probably,
counting?
yeah, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Mario Kart games.
We played that one for a long time.
And Mario Kart has
And
always
this kind of Mario Kart, yeah.
Mario Kart has always been about the 3-lap structure thing. It's sanctimonious. It's like you never break it. Like the first time a Mario Kart game went, it's like more than 3 laps here. You went like, oh,
Yeah, and then when
What?
7 introduced the...
more anything else but 3 laps?
And then when 7 introduced the ones that are just from point A to point B.
That was introduced in 7?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was in 8.
I think it's cool. Despite some misinformation that I've seen, you can, in fact, play these levels as
The 3-lap
yeah,
thing,
3-lap structure. You have to go into the versus mode, though. But this is also available in the online mode.
If you play a level, there will be an open vote for 3 next destinations to go from there to the next one. It seems the really hot potato right now
It's
is
going
people
random.
hate having the traversal stuff. So when you play online, at least in my experience, like more than half of the players will always pick random to break the streak.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do it. And I just go like, oh, okay. So if I ever want to play just 3 laps, I just play online then, you know?
It's not really as big of an issue as I think it was made out to be. I think the Grand Prix is really fun. I think it's quite different. Gives a lot of variety to the game.
You also have the knockout tour.
Yes, and I think the Knockout Tour is probably the most fun, at least for me. The
6 tracks.
put into one
Yeah,
ball
one
sack.
consecutive. There's no breaks or anything. When you
Yeah.
get to one track, like the last 4 players are knocked out.
Yeah.
So it's like cutting
It's
off
dramatic.
the roster, and then in the end, it's just 4 people left, and it's like, okay, first to the goal. Then you can go 5 tracks and be winning, and then you lose it at the end, and that's classic Mario Kart, because Mario Kart should be a little bit about like the infuriating, like, oh, come on. I mean, I should have won, you know.
It's one of those where you get a red shell on you, and then you get a fire flower on you, and then
Yeah.
you drop into a chasm.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
What the fuck?
yeah. And it's especially fun if you play with other people.
Yeah.
When you hone in on them with a
Yeah,
green
that-
shell, you're like,
yeah. It's it's
like a little freak.
you go full like.
But like Knockout
gremlin.
Tour, I think in Grand Prix, of course,
Mm.
there's like cuts between
Yeah.
all the races. When you have finished a race,
You get the result screen.
Yeah, you get
and
the result screen and
characters
everything.
cheering and going.
but
"Wow!"
Knockout Tour is one straight path.
Yeah.
Takes like, I don't know, how long does it one take?
Like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
Depends.
It just goes, and it's so good. It really shows how well made it is. I think even better than Grand Prix.
It's a really good
It's a great
display of the
addition.
open world thing, the seamlessness of it, and it's going from one to the other to the other.
I think having a person to play with,
Yes,
having two people to play this video game,
we have
is really
a
nice.
benefit here that I think a lot of people kind of miss out on when playing this, because we are two people living together. We both like Mario Kart.
Small
The new
baby
Mario Kart game
apartment.
comes out, and we can play it split screen in the cups and everything.
Yeah.
We were surprised you couldn't play the free roam mode.
That's the
in
biggest.
split
That
screen.
and also, I'm gonna be real, and this tells me a lot about how people play this game,
Yeah.
people who review it, and so on. Is that basically no one mentioned that you can play the free roaming mode 2-player on the couch?
It's very hidden.
Yeah, but you can't. You can't really.
It's like it's technically you
You
can open multiplayer, 2-player online, and open a room.
and not invite anyone.
Yeah, you could invite people
Yeah,
and
sure,
hang out
not,
with them
and
too.
just hang out with them. Yeah,
but if you
that's
don't
the
even
only
want to
way.
play it online, that's how you can do it. And you can not do the P blocks, but you can get the
And you can't get too
question.
far away from
Yeah, you
each
can get the
other.
question pads. That's how you can do it.
What I assume is that it's probably a technical issue where you can't place two people on opposite sides of the map on the same console and load these two spaces at the same time.
Probably no, but also I'm fine with it being like you need to be certain, because it
It's
can be pretty far from each
It's
other.
fine, but I think it's a miss from the perspective of like if you needed to like crunch down the fucking fidelity of the game to
Yeah.
make it possible for two baby kids to play together, I think it would have been worth it. It's fine. We have been like switching the controllers
Yeah.
between us, but it would have been really fun.
Yeah, I was first day I
able
was a
to.
little bit disappointed about that,
Yeah.
because I was looking forward to just
Because you
hang out
wanted
with
to-
you in the
you-
open world.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna buy another Switch 2 to do that, you know. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, that's impossible. That's not.
Maybe in a couple of years when another one comes out.
Yeah, when the Switch 2 Lite
Yeah,
comes out.
we're not gonna do that.
No, we're not
Uh,
gonna do that.
Mario Kart World is gonna be old and boring at that point.
Yeah.
I get that it's the single player experience, and with time, like you kind of hang out and playing it, it's fine. Whatever.
It's fine, but it is at least like my little caveat.
I think they maybe should have found a way to do it a little bit more directly.
Maybe a smaller scale or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think just being able to put in another player in the thing is be like, okay, you can't go too far from each other, and you can't do the P block
Yeah.
challenges, but like, because it's a hangout thing.
Yeah.
It's fun to hang out.
I just imagine like some kids having to. Mom says it's my turn on the Switch too.
Yeah,
you know?
on the open world. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just kind of sucks a little bit. But you know,
yeah, it does. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Fine as Mario Kart.
I've had more fun with this one than I was anticipating, and this might be a bit of a hot take right
Oh
now.
boy, hot potato.
I think I like this more than Mario Kart 8.
Did you hear that, everyone?
And for the record,
Grab your pitchforks.
Mario Kart 8, I think up until now, was like walkover default victory best Mario Kart game, because I mean, of course it is. But now I'm just feeling like I vibe with this more, and I feel like it's nice to have a Mario Kart game that's okay. My Mario Kart is Mario Kart 64. I understand that's just like because I'm old.
So you don't even have problem with
Yeah,
the rubber banding.
No, exactly.
It's perfect.
But
It's
like-
exactly like Mario Kart.
I-
You know what? That's exactly why you vibe with this one. Like, you know, everything. You're like, yeah, this is just like Mario Kart 64. You finally got it.
Yeah, but I like something where like, no, this is very specific flavor to it
Yeah.
that I like and prefer to the more regular thing. That feels nice to me, to be like, you know what, I like this for this reason, and I think for that reason I probably won't change that opinion if another one comes out and it's kind of like regular,
It's like banana pecans.
my go-to Mario Kart is always Mario Kart 64 because that's my childhood one.
Yeah,
but I
the
understand that to anyone else, it's like showing a black and white silent film and going like, "This is cinema, kids," and they're going like, "What? What?"
Where's Spider-Man?
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know where I would place it because it's one of those things, you know, who fucking cares about
And
ranking
you
this
don't
game?
have to rank all the Mario Kart games. Number one.
Is it worse than Mario Kart 8? I mean, I would say that it depends. If you're a silly goober who is really like into the idea of being good at Mario Kart and you're like, I want to have my big points on Mario Kart and I want to be able to go first in the track and I want to be able to be the best one, then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is your Mario Kart. You're gonna love
Actually,
that.
I was thinking more like Ridge Racer, but yeah.
No, but you're gonna. I'm talking about Mario Kart games, you stupid.
You want to be good at a racing game? Don't play Mario Kart.
First of all, yes. Yes, a little bit. But also...
F-Zero GX,
Can I-
it's right there right
Oh
now.
my god. Can I stalk, you little baby child?
You want to stalk me?
No, what?
You said, can I stalk?
I said, can I talk?
Oh.
She doesn't even listen. I don't even know what I was saying anymore.
You were talking about being good at Mario Kart.
Yeah, if you want to be a goober who's really good at Mario Kart, which I've been before, so you can't tell me like, you just don't get it. I get it. Shut the fuck up. I won a tournament once. Anyway, yeah, it was really cool.
You're very talented.
Yeah, I flew in front of the motherfucker at the end. It was 2 players at the last one.
Oh.
Just 2 players.
No items, Fox only.
Yeah, no items, absolutely. But the fun thing about it is, right before the finish line, he flew a little bit less than I did, so he landed first. But you have more speed in the air. So I'm just like flying right over him, and I'm holding a shell behind me. And I get right over him, and he gets knocked by the shell behind me right as I pass him there, and like a second after I'm in the finish line.
Was this like a real tournament, or was it like just a hangout
Fun
thing?
tournament.
Yeah, it's
I'm just
fun.
making
You
fun.
made it seem like you were
I'm
like,
making
I was
fun.
on TV
I'm making
playing.
fun, but we were both really good at it. So it's like we were both in the finals. So it was a tough battle. We were like trading places all the time.
Yeah,
Really fun. I was just making fun.
making fun.
Yeah, because you can't, dude. What are you gonna?
Isn't that what Mario Kart is all
tournament?
about? Making fun.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you don't care that much about like being a good at Mario Kart bro, then I think you will like this one. I think if it doesn't bother you that much that things rubber band, maybe you even think it's a bit fun that the character is actually, that there's some tension in the race because of it. That's obviously the reason they put it there. Then I think you will enjoy this a lot.
Would you buy a Switch 2 for this game?
I mean, that's not me. It's a good
It's a
cherry
nice-
on top.
it's a
Like
nice
if you
cherry on
have
top,
if you
yeah.
have a Switch 2, you should have it.
Yes,
Absolutely. But I bought it for Donkey Kong. I know it's a month away, but I'm not sure I will be able to get one. So I was just like, no, you know what? Fucking Donkey
Nintendo
Kong.
emailed you and went like, you want to buy a Switch 2 from
And I
our
said,
store? And like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. I'll sell some bone marrow so I can afford it. I have no bone marrow left,
oh
everyone.
no, she's just a puddle on the floor
Yeah,
now.
that's why I have back issues now. They
You
just took-
sold your back to Nintendo?
Yeah, they took the bone marrow out of my
Grow
my
a
spine.
spine, girl.
Yeah, that's offensive to me for not having a spine anymore.
Oh no. You have any closing thoughts about this?
Yeah, good Mario Kart.
Why does food in Ghibli movies always look good? The food in this game looks real tasty.
It looks real nice.
You know what I really like about it?
No.
It's you go to like Venice
Yeah,
and they have real
Venice.
Italian pizza,
Yeah.
the big crust and
Yeah.
everything, and it's like, I wonder how many Americans are playing this game and going like, why does pizza look so weird?
I mean, yeah, maybe. Mario Kart.
Mario Kart World.
And Mario Kart,
Car-dependent society.
Look, Mario Kart
Cars
is,
everywhere. It's America.
Yeah, it is America. I mean, it is the best representation of America I've ever seen. The fact that everyone's driving. You can sometimes see a toad just drive over the desert.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's like the only people you see walking are like hitchhikers. Like, what are you? You don't have a car? You must be a hitchhiker. It's like, yeah, I guess. What?
Very, very...
There's no infrastructure to walk anywhere except like the sidewalks in town where cars are driving over you anyway.
Yeah, because they need the speed from you.
Yeah.
You do a little trick on top of their heads. They say, wow! Mario Kart is always fun. I don't think there is a single Mario Kart that isn't fun at all. They're very simple games, exciting to play with friends. Please, play it with a friend if you can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because like, oh yeah, I wouldn't play this single player straight up. Maybe online, but like, you buy Mario Kart for when you have friends over, you know?
Yeah. Because I don't think there is a lot to actually, like, super hone in on. Like, I don't think this is a good game to nitpick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mario Kart has never really been that, because Mario Kart is kind of silly.
You can. Like, I could nitpick, like I said before, like, I nitpicked the Mario Kart Wii, but that's because I was a hater.
Yeah, but basically, with all
I was too old.
Yeah, you were kind of going
I was
out.
a teenager, and
Yeah.
I was like...
It's really funny because I was more into Mario Kart Wii and the Mario Kart DS.
Yeah, but but you know, it's just one
Different
of those things.
faces. This is my recommendation. If you play Mario Kart World and being a little bit like about it, you probably should play it with a friend.
Yeah, find a pal.
It really transforms any game to play it with a friend, especially something like this where you can be a little bit mean to each other.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There's a lot of times when you and me have been like,
Why would you do this to me?
I love looking over at your screen and being like,
Oh, this is the
"What?"
peeking at the other screen kind of multiplayer
being able
experience.
to throw a shell backwards because I look at your
It's
screen.
made for split screen, it really is.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Don't take it so seriously.
yeah.
Just have fun with the Mario Kart.
It's Mario Kart.
It is a Mario
And it's
Kart.
the only Mario Kart you're gonna have for the next 10 years.
Mario
So
Kart.
sit the fuck down.
There's another thing I wanted to
Oh.
actually mention. I'm sorry.
I thought I was ending here.
No, yeah, I know. But like the music, though.
Oh, yeah.
The track selection, like not the track selection, the music track selection.
Sure.
What a good ass fucking vibe.
Lo-fi
shit.
Mario Kart beats to study/relax to. It's just playing
Damn,
all the time in the background. It's the jukebox.
The YouTubers who are like making these little fucking collections, they're having a field day with this one.
Yeah.
Mario Kart World music to eat ass to. You know what I mean?
It is very nice.
It is great because some like you listen to it and you're like, oh, they have Yoshi's Story in here, and then you're like,
There's
you go
some
to
weird deep
these
cuts,
places and you're like, oh yes, it's Super Mario Land. Oh, you remembered my birthday.
Your birthday?
Mario Land.
I never really had that experience because I don't think I have experiences of being like, oh, Nintendo remembered Mario Paint
Mario
music.
Land. Mario Paint music though, it's in there too. Several tracks. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't have that, but
Mario
it's nice.
Land. Mario Land though, the fact that you go into the desert and you're like, there's the guys, my friends.
Baradon?
My fucking...
Baradon?
I don't know what they're called.
Baraduke?
I'm not a fucking nerd. They're the big, like, stone heads that run. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking Mario Land. And everyone else is like, I hate Mario Land because it's not like the other ones. I'm such an asshole. You know, that's what the big problem everyone has. They're like big dummy assholes who are like, oh, it doesn't move exactly like Mario does in the other one, so I will leave pee. And then they
What? What the fuck is going on?
I'm saying that everyone's a big baby about Mario Kart because they want like it's not exactly like my Mario Kart. And where is Groombo? Where is Groombo? Why didn't they add Groombo? Kiki, that's what I'm saying. They're the same with Mario Land. They're like, Mario doesn't move exactly the same, so it's
You know who they should add to this game?
yeah.
Astrobot.
Fuck that. They should add Slinger Slam.
They should make an Astrobot kart.
Ugh. With all these fake Sony characters. The fucking envelope head tearaway shit.
No, they wouldn't put tearaway in that one. They would be like, no, you can stand to the side. It's like when Ristar was waving the flag in Sega Racing.
There's
and me
5
going
different...
like, what do you mean?
There's 5 different Killzone guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mario
it.
Kart.
That's Mario Kart.
Game you can play.
And I think to myself, it's a Mario Kart world. That's Brental Floss. I'm stealing Brental Floss bit.
Do it.
No, I'm not making. No, I'm not doing a Louis Armstrong impression. I'm not doing that. That song played at my grandpa's funeral. It's kind of emotional for me, so I can't do it.
Oh no.
It's fine.
Is this what we're ending on? Bye.
You know, like my grandfather before me. Rainbow Road, it's a road we're all gonna go. Think to myself, what a Mario Kart world.